what is meant by API management and why do we need to manage APIs?
Okay. So API management is one of the hot topic these days. I think the key is if you really look at evolution of organizations, companies, it started with brick and mortar. Then it moved from brick and mortar to click and mortar. And today, you have companies that are entirely developed on APIs. So if you take some of the latest, the largest IT companies, IT organizations are built clearly on APIs. So if you take API management, in my view, is actually bringing your assets, your digital assets, opening those assets and allowing hundreds and thousands of others to innovate in the process that you actually generate tremendous amount of revenue for your own company.
Yes, and if I would build on that, Dinesh, I think, look at manufacturers, for example, of smartphones or mobile phones. They are coming on the one hand with a device, but they are also coming with APIs on which developers then can develop new applications which make the device even more rich. So that means APIs are also there in order to enrich devices or to enrich models which are there in order to have all the best for the end user.
And modern businesses, especially telcos, are sitting on a goldmine of assets which are not used because they are not opening up their infrastructure and make it simple for application developers to build applications. Now, if you look at a typical telco setup, they have lots of network services which can be opened up for developers, as well as subscriber data which they can use to perform analytics and get more insights. So if telcos can open up those assets, especially the digital assets, they can free up for application development. It would be a huge benefit.
Also, I think, Yogan, on your mention, you talked about device and device manufacturers opening up the API so that people or developers can innovate. Yes. Similarly, what Harsha mentioned, we are talking about the network or the operators. So for operators, their device is the network.
Exactly, that's it. I mean, on the one hand, we see end devices used by consumers, which are opening up their APIs, and we are seeing the device of the operators, which is the network opening up. So I think it's all in the benefit of the end user.
That summarized the whole concept, I think, that network is a device is the key concept, I think.
Yeah.
You can really understand that it summarized the whole API
So
management.
network is operator's device.
Yeah.
Correct.
Dinesh, you mentioned the term digital asset. What exactly do you mean by digital asset?
So digital assets are the assets that you have in your organization that you have been kind of built over the years. Example, if you take an operator's digital assets could be their subscriber information, their subscriber geographies, their assets from their network, whether it's SMS or USSD or some of those. So those assets, being able to monetize them by opening it through APIs will help them to generate new revenue that they did not have access to before. So which is what is very key here is that this is not the traditional revenue that they used to get from being an operator, whether it's your voice calls or your data and stuff like that. This is a new revenue that operators can get.
Yes. So as an example, I mean, talking about an operator, we could talk about CDRs. Huh? So CDRs are events in the network of an operator, and they are digital assets, so I can leverage them and get something out of this. So for example, what is a churn prediction which the user might, what the operator might see, or what is working with a campaign on which is built on CDRs. So that are things like digital assets, but it's not only with operators. I think whenever we are talking about APIs, it is about opening digital data to another community. And that could be data and it could be services. Yeah, so both of it is possible.
And there's an analogy between your previous comparison and this, right? When Apple opens up the phone,
Yes.
and expose the APIs for developers, we saw a kind of huge bloom of applications being developed, right, using those APIs. Similarly, if telcos open up their APIs, there will be a huge amount of applications coming out of developer community or any
Right.
organization. Right?
And it's also about, I think, creativity as well, isn't it? So because you can't even think of all the things you could do. Yeah, so as we never could imagine what kinds of apps would occur in the future, you would not be able to think of what kind of services could be created on the digital assets of a company.
I think I'd like to add something to it. When we go to telcos, a frequent question asked by telcos is, tell me what are the things that will be built using the platform. The answer that I love to give is, I don't know. So that's why we need to open up. Because they will do the creative part. Because like creativity cannot be done by a closed group.
Yes.
Well, so we say, the creativity is not within your own organizations for operators, creativity is outside. So let us open the APIs and let the 2-person garage team build the next big applications on your platform, a platform that you have opened up. And that actually will help you to grow your revenue in your organization.